You will get the most from any Systems to Win video when you launch it from its video homepage.
There are a couple of different ways to open the page for the training for your Systems to Win leadership roles. In the Lean Management Systems menu, you can select this link to Systems to Win Leader Training, or in the Lean Training menu, you can select Systems to Win Leadership Roles. Either way, it opens up this page that has succinct training for what needs to be done to successfully implement your Systems to Win templates in an organization that has multiple users. Your two most important roles are your Systems to Win champion and your executive change agent. Let's start with your Systems to Win champion, who serves as your primary contact for all things Systems to Win. Ideally, this is a senior or middle level manager with enthusiasm and competence, using a wide variety of tools and methods and also good coaching skills. This is not an IT position. Your champion will work with your IT department to ensure that everyone gets installed, but that's not even close to the most important responsibility for your champion. And notice that in smaller organizations, you might just have one person, period, just a champion, that's it, doing every role described on this page. In larger organizations, it's helpful to divvy up some of the sub-roles, and the champion works with those specialists. Okay, so the first big responsibility is to make sure people at least do get the software installed. It's hard to do anything if it's not installed. And to do that, it's very helpful to use the multi-user setup checklist to cross the T's and dot the I's to make sure that your users have everything they need to be successful with their new or upgraded tools. And one important component of that is to provide some foundational systems and guidance for your document storage and naming conventions. In other words, every time that any one of your users saves a new working document created from a template, they're faced with two questions. Where should I save this thing, and what should I name it? To avoid leaving the answers to those questions to chance, a good leader will ensure that your users know the correct answers to those questions in order to avoid broken hyperlinks between related documents. The first foundational Lean principle is that every Lean implementation is an invention. There's no such thing as cookie cutter Lean. But the second principle is don't reinvent. There's so much waste in reinvention. And part of that is to focus on both results and the processes that deliver results. In other words, don't just use the MBA management by objective approach of saying, I don't care where you store your documents or what you name them. All I want to see is results. Organizing your document storage and naming conventions is essentially a 5S exercise. In this case, bringing structure and organization to those computer files and folders that, because they are largely hidden, are often a sloppy mess in many organizations. Now, the next responsibility of your Systems to Win champion is to be the primary contact, both to and from Systems to Win, as well as to and from each of your users. Now, to avoid being monkey in the middle, you're going to make it a whole lot easier on yourself if you enroll your users in the Systems to Win customer correspondence system so that they receive notifications of upcoming free trainings and new videos and things like that directly. The third and by far most important responsibility is to lead. And the tool that you'll find most helpful to help you lead is your training matrix template. So with the Systems to Win add-in installed in Excel, select the Systems to Win Templates button, and right there near the very top of the list, you'll find your One Training Matrix template. Open it, and then select the Systems to Win tab that's pre-populated with learning items that are relevant for Systems to Win leadership. You enter the names of your users, and then you use the drop-down lists to keep track of who is and is not yet installed or who has the latest upgrade, and who has and has not yet completed the free Systems to Win new user training to learn the foundational features that are common to all 150 templates. And when we scroll down, we might use the drop-down list to select a dot, which will turn the background color of the cell gray to indicate that Jack does not need that particular training, but Jill does. And using the drop-down list, we might indicate that Jill is currently a level 2 in her competence with that particular tool or skill. If a row is not needed, then rather than deleting the row, it's smarter to right-click the row and hide that row. In our experience, those Systems to Win leaders that use their training matrix are more than 10 times as successful as those leaders that don't. So your Systems to Win champion works with every team leader. In other words, in a larger organization, the training matrix for the champion might consist of just tracking the team leaders to make sure that each one of them is in turn using their own training matrix to make sure that their team members get through the new user training and that their team members receive the tool-specific training and mentoring that they need for those tools that are most helpful for their unique responsibilities. And along with your executive change agent, your Systems to Win champion plays a major role in leadership coaching to train and mentor and work with your next level leaders to ensure that you sustain and spread your lean culture throughout your organization. And a big part of that is ensuring that each leader knows when and why to use different tools and methods. So your Systems to Win champion works with each team leader and with your IT department, whose responsibilities are outlined here. And in a larger organization, you might even designate someone to perform the role of personalization leader. If and only if and when you choose to personalize any of your master templates in ways that your personalizations will be automatically found and transferred each time that you upgrade in the future. And I'm going to say that about 90% of our customers never do this. They use the templates the way that they are without personalization. And if you do personalize, it often is the same person. It's the Systems to Win champion who plays both roles. And the final role of your Systems to Win champion is to work closely with your executive change agent, whose responsibilities are outlined in detail on our Change Agent webpage. It is your executive change agent, not your Systems to Win champion, that has ultimate responsibility for success. And again, in a smaller organization, your change agent might have responsibility for both continuous improvement and training. If not, in a larger organization, your change agent might need to work closely with those executive level leaders. And finally, at the bottom of the page, there's this brief summary of the career benefits of Systems to Win leadership. The bottom line is that continuous improvement leadership is a very desirable and marketable career skill. And finally, just a reminder that you're not alone. Your Systems to Win support is always just an email or a phone call away to help you to start, expand, and sustain your lean culture.